On January 1st, several Muslim women across India woke up and found themselves being auctioned on an app. The app, hosted on the GitHub platform, had used their photographs. The targets included around 100 Muslim women. Most of them are prominent journalists and activists who are vocal against many of the policies of the Narendra Modi-led Hindu nationalist government in India. Ismat Ara, a 23-year-old journalist based out of Delhi, was one of the many Muslim women who were targeted through this hate app.
A lot of times what happens is when you're on the field, if you ask the wrong questions or, if somebody gets suspicious of you, if they feel like your story might harm them in any way, they might start tagging behind you. The thing with that kind of risk is while you're on the field, it's there, but after a point you return and you just feel like, okay, it's not there anymore. You feel safe. But then with internet, this boundary doesn't exist, The fear, the insecurity, it never goes away.
You need to meet India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He and his far-right Hindu nationalist party, the BJP, are bent on creating a lost Hindu kingdom. They call it the Hindu Rashtra. They've been in office since 2014, openly championing Hindu nationalist supremacist ideology. Scholars are now literally warning about genocide there.
In the past few years, the Muslim community in India has come under vicious attack from far right-wing Hindu nationalists. A lot of these attacks have been emboldened by the anti-Muslim rhetoric from the government's representatives and reluctance on the government's part to take action against perpetrators in most cases.
इनकी जनसंख्या को अगर खत्म करना है तो हम मारने को तैयार हैं, जेल में जाने को तैयार हैं।
जामिया के गद्दारों को गोली मारो सालों को, AMU के गद्दारों को गोली मारो सालों को।
From lynchings of suspected cow slaughterers and custodial torture of unconvicted Muslim people to open calls of genocide of the Muslim people and rape of Muslim women, these acts are threatening the well-being and safety of India's biggest minority population.
In a shocking incident, a social media app listed Muslim women for auction. Photos of hundreds of Muslim women taken from their social media profiles were then uploaded on an app called Bully Buy.
I was in bed. When I woke up, being this young person, what you do is you check your phone the first moment after you wake up. And so that's what I did. I checked my phone. And because it was New Year's, a lot of people had sent me those messages. But among that list of people who had sent me those messages, there was one message from a friend which said something that alarmed me. It said, Ismat, I just saw this. I thought you would like to see it also. So then I opened it and then there was an image. And on that image, I could see my own picture. It was a picture which said that for sale, On one level, it was really, I was very angry. The kind of society that we live in, what happens is you tend to question yourself. What did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? That photo that was up there on that page. Sadly, my first thought to myself was, should I not have put that picture up? Is there something wrong with this picture that I put up, As women, we are conditioned to question ourselves more than we question the world. But I think after a point, that disgust, I really wanted to turn that disgust into anger because I was really angry. What I did was I immediately took that photo out. I put it up on Twitter. That tweet blew up. It went viral. There were parliamentarians, who were questioning the government, the ruling party members about what was happening. The IT minister also after a while responded to the tweet. He said that the platform where all of this was hosted had been banned. And that is when I thought people are out there, they are supporting me. I had a barrage of, messages from people supporting me. People telling me to, be strong, be bold, they're with me, they're in solidarity with me. And that is where I think I got the courage to go ahead and file an FIR against what had happened.
the Delhi police began a detailed investigation on the basis of Ismat's complaint. Ismat specifically mentioned the Twitter handle @bullyby_ in her complaint. During the course of the investigation, Delhi police tracked down the anonymous creator of this handle.
Indian Freedom Foundation is a digital liberties organization. Our aim is to ensure that now that more and more people are on the internet, everybody can use the internet and exercise their digital rights in consonance with the rights that are guaranteed within the Constitution of India. When the entire thing started and FIRs were being filed, we wrote to the National Commission for Women and the Delhi Commissioner for Women saying that, while what you've done already is commendable, you've taken suo motu action and you've said that sexual harassment, obscenity provisions have been applied. It's also very important to apply provisions which show that this happened because of the religious angle. Because the apps by themselves, the name of the apps by themselves are derogatory term for Muslim women, not just women, right? Understanding the complexity of any such situation is very important. We do have a lot of provisions in the legal framework which talk about sexual harassment, which talk about outraging the modesty of a woman, and in terms of the Information Technology Act, it has section 67 which talks about transmitting obscene materials. However, the issue here is that the situation itself is so unique. It's not doxing, it's not sharing of sexual abuse material. So you can't have a specific provision which specifically caters to what happened in Bullyby. However, you can put together provisions and you can try to respond to it.
This is not the first time Muslim women have been targeted in this fashion on the internet. Another app by the name of Sulli Deals was launched in June 2021. Sulli is a derogatory term used for Muslim women, and the purpose of this app was to auction Muslim women as well. But at that time, despite the public outrage, there was no initiative shown by the police to find the perpetrators. This, in part, encouraged the perpetrators, in this case, to create Bullyby.
Even before Bullyby and Sulli Deals, there were individuals who used to target Muslim women, especially vocal Muslim women on Twitter who were very active on Twitter. That is when we started working on it. And we came across a lot of individual tweets by right-wing influencers who had been targeting Muslim women, like individually, maybe not by a Bullyby or Sulli Deal app, but individually. What they did was they copied their photos and started posting it on Twitter. And later on they had a discussion. That's when they started talking vulgar language against the girls who had posted the photos. They used to pick up the photos and they used to auction them, saying, okay, ये लड़की का रेट है मतलब ₹5 या ₹10 मतलब $1, $2. I remember seeing their YouTube channels wherein people who had subscribed them used to pay to them. I mean, they had this Patreon ticker running wherein they used to pay to them, donate to them, I mean, for those websites.
As far as I know, not a single person has met each other in person. These are individuals sitting on the internet, and all of them getting radicalized because of how the internet space in India has become, the amount of disinformation and hate there is. So to answer your question, is this the trend that we are looking at? So, the concept of lone wolves, that is lone wolves acting independently, if the amount of hate that we are seeing is going to increase as it is, and I'm sure it is going to increase, it is going to create more and more of these lone wolves.
In 2019, a fact-checker website that counted hate crimes in India reported that more than 90% of victims in the past 10 years were Muslims. The threat is even more severe for Muslim women, who are one of the marginalized and underrepresented communities in India. All of these hate crimes are intended to curb their already diminished presence in the public sphere.
झटका लगा कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है, मतलब मुसलमान औरतों के साथ, लड़कियों के साथ। सिर्फ ये तो लड़की है, औरतें भी हैं उसमें शामिल, एजेड औरतें हैं, क्योंकि उनके साथ ये हो ही रहा है, वो तो पता ही है। बदनाम करना, ये करना, वो करना, आगे बढ़ रहा है, उसके खिलाफ बोलना, यही सब होता है। और क्या, जब ये 2 साल की इस्मत 2 साल की हो गई तो फिर मैं दिल्ली आ गई। मैं चाहती थी अभी इंग्लिश मीडियम से पढ़े। इसके दादा दादी थे गांव में, तो वो लोग नहीं चाह रहे थे कि हम जाएं, और इसके पापा भी तैयार नहीं थे कि हम आ जाएं, लेकिन हम आ गए बच्चे को लेके कि पीछे ना रह जाए मेरे बच्चे। मैं पीछे रह गई तो मेरी तरह मेरे बच्चे पीछे ना हो। मेरी मम्मी चाहती थी मैं डॉक्टर बनूं, मैं चाहती थी कि ये पायलट बने, मगर न वो हो पाया न ये हो पाया, कुछ और ही हो गया।
तो अच्छा नहीं हुआ?
अच्छा हुआ, ये भी अच्छा हुआ। अपने शौक से इसने जो भी किया अच्छा किया। जान का तो खतरा है ही है, तो सभी को पता है कि आज के ज़माने में पत्रकारों के ऊपर भी हमला होता रहता है, तो उसका खतरा तो है ही है। तो बाहर जाती है, फ़ोन नहीं करती है तो फिक्र लगी होती है कि पता नहीं वापस आएगी नहीं आएगी। जब इसने पहली बार BBC में ज्वाइन किया था तो वो मर गई थी, कौन, हाँ गौरी लंकेश। तब भी हमने मना किया था कि ये काम मत करो, मगर इसको अपना शौक था तो लग गई। अभी भी मेहनत करती है, दिन रात लगी रहती है।
I think a lot of times what happens is when the abuse or the harassment is online, we tend to sort of undermine it. We think that, you know, it's on the internet. We don't really understand the gravity of it a lot of times, because one, the impact that it has on the person's mind who's facing the harassment is immense. It continues on for, you know, months beyond after it has happened, and it may even require, you know, medical attention for some people. Basically, when you do something like when you harass somebody online, when you abuse them online, when you put out their photos online, what you're essentially doing is you are basically trying to restrict them. Their sort of participation gets very, very limited. And at this time, we really need a lot of, you know, Muslim youth, a lot of Muslim young women, and, you know, from other minorities as well, like Christian women, to come up and articulate their issues.